All right, welcome into Friday the 5th. Um, our code topic of the week this week is maintain respectful behavior whenever one is working, driving the company vehicle, wearing the company logo. You're always representing the company. You want to have a good image to the public and even your fellow employees. So, Ben, do you have anything else?
Well, it's one thing to think about is what is respectful behavior. And I think of respectful behavior as having empathy for other people that you work with or that you're interacting with and expressing it in a polite way. And another way to think about it is to think about solving problems and working on solutions rather than putting people down or pointing out their faults all the time. So respectful behavior is something that when you do it on a daily basis, it can be a good part of you being a good leader.
All right.
I don't know if you guys think about it that way, but it's a really cool piece of the code that ties into a lot of things.
That's a good way to think about it, for sure. So we've had 2 days without recordable injury. We had to reset the clock. So,
Yeah.
we had it was a back injury, and we really gotta watch out for these. 3 of the last 4 injuries have been back related. So remember to lift your legs. Keep the load you're lifting close to your body. Ask for assistance with heavier objects or use equipment this round. Stop and think about things. Don't rush. It's the beginning of the season. A lot of us have been on layoff or have been plowing snow and things like that. We're not used to getting out and doing all this work. So that's just one thing to look out for sure.
I think, how many days did we make, Austin? How many days
Uh,
did we go?
We made 313 days.
Yep,
Or no, so 17 days.
317.
Yeah.
So the other thing about, if you're going to, when you're lifting, to prepare before you lift things, a little bit of stretching and making sure that you're limbered up before you attack something that's heavy can help you out a lot.
Yeah. So the topic this week I have is work zone awareness. Some things to remember. I spelled that wrong. Work zone fatalities. There are 850 per year on average. This is the public and workers, and worker fatalities are around 125 per year, and then just 42,000 injuries occur every year in work zones. So it's something to keep in mind. Also, a good way to calculate how long you have to react to something. If say the speed limit around your work zone to 50 miles per hour, you take that and you times that by 1.5, so you get about 75 feet per second. So, you know, you don't have a lot of time to react when a car or something is coming. You have a split second to make a decision on what you're going to do. So it's good to look out for things and watch what's going on around you. Some of the things to mitigate the risks when you're looking to design a traffic plan and things like that are, can you eliminate the problem? Can you use detours, alternate routes? If you're working on the interstate, can you just route traffic to the other lane to completely get it away from you? Um, can you use barriers that will protect the workers in the work zone from traffic? Uh, engineering controls, traffic control devices, crash attenuators, things like that won't put anyone in harm, like a flagger staying out in the road, but will still get the driver's attention and stop them. Then we can also use administrative control. These are things like doing work at night when traffic isn't as heavy. You know, you might close the road at night for just local traffic only. And then finally, the last thing you can use is a flagger. Flaggers staying out on the road. But these put people in harm's way. Flagger is a very dangerous position. Some best practices are to have a plan, review and understand the plan. Clearly identify any struck by potential and discuss areas where you're going to access the zone or leave the zone, walk out of it. Have clear areas where that is. Keep yourself and fellow workers inside the closed lane. You don't want to be stepping out in traffic, things like that. And keep your head on a swivel and know your surroundings. If you have to turn your back to traffic, make sure someone is there to look out for you and be able to see what's coming from behind you. And if you can, avoid turning your back to traffic. Also, avoid blind spots so you can be seen. And that also goes along with being visible. Wear your PPE, your vest, your high-vis clothing, things like that. Work zones, traffic, public can be very unpredictable, and they can be on their phone or under the influence, something like that. So it's good to be aware and watch out for things. Good to have a plan and discuss all these things in your morning brief with your crew and during the JHA process. That's really all I have.
Okay, thanks, Austin. Yeah, I think being visible is important, obviously, and sometimes even being, highly lit up with, or not necessarily lit up, but highly visible with high-vis clothing isn't quite enough. If there's a lot going on along, the motorist needs to see movement of that bright person. And that's one of the reasons, and I don't know what the status is, that the flaggers for Williston Road start out using the stop-go paddles with the flashing lights on them.
Yeah.
Are they still using those? I don't know.
I don't know. I know night work they are required to have that.
Yeah.
During the day I don't think
Maybe
so
they
much,
weren't really during the day.
Yeah.
But certainly something, movement. If you got to stop go paddle, just moving a little bit, because if you come up, I know how it is. You come up to a busy construction site, your eyes are like trying to absorb everything, and that one little guy standing out in front, not moving, isn't really.
No, we lose you, Ken?
I think we lost him.
Oh, no.
No, I'm here.
Oh, there you are.
Okay, I'm going to switch. I'm going to take over.
All right.
That was a sign to move on to the next phase of the meeting. Okay, do you see my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
With weekly email. See it okay?
Yep, we got it.
Okay. So for announcements this week, tomorrow is Green Up Day. And just try to make your job site look good, look professional. And new policies, we have continued to show this policy on the employee referral program and the EEO policy. So anyone new please check these policies out. Also, especially if you're working on a state job, you need to know this policy, the EEO policy, or have reviewed it and been trained on it. A couple weeks ago, we had the training as part of the safety meeting. So if you didn't see that one, just check with the safety department and they will get you set up with the recording, because we record each one of these. For new employees, we have Randy Dow. And oops, went past his name here. This is Robert Edson. Haley Miller. Colton Murphy. And welcome everybody who's new to ECI. And on the primary wellness program, oops, we just have a link here. Somehow some of it got washed away, but we have a link to the primary wellness program, and I encourage everyone to get signed up. And this week we're talking about the Swanton ST Culvert 108 in Swanton, and I think Mark Pelican, are you on?
I am.
You want to take over the screen, or you want me to scroll?
You can scroll, Ken.
Okay, I'll get scrolled up to the text for you, and you can start.
So ECI was contracted to do a design build of a new precast box culvert in Swanton on Route 207. The design, they had some minimum requirements in the design. It was 36 feet with an opening of 8 by 6 and have 4 precast wing walls. The work required the maximum of a 3-day road closure, which obviously to put a new box in, we had to close the whole road. We started last Friday at 7 a.m. closing the road, which meant we'd have to reopen it by Monday morning at 7 a.m. The ECI work crews, which included Charlie's crew and Charlie Fecto and Rob Barber's crews, worked Friday night. Charlie worked the days and Rob's crew worked nights. Worked late Friday night and all night Saturday night, with the backfill working through Saturday night and the pavers coming in Sunday morning and cleaning it up for us. Box culvert was fabricated in 6-foot lengths, which allowed us to use our own crane to set it. The crews had to move 14 inches of hot mix. They kept paving over this thing because there was a bump there. And we'll get to some pictures here, which I'll explain in a minute. And the backfill inside of the box, when we're all done, included 2 feet of what they call E-stone, which is supposed to be nice on the fish's belly so that they'll cross through these culverts. Want to go down to the existing picture?
Oh,
of the
sure.
structure,
Yes.
Ken?
Yes. Sorry.
Oh,
So this was the structure we were replacing. As you can see, it was a kind of an amalgamation over the years where they went in and poured some footing concrete. Probably my guess is the old walls were starting to rotate, and they put this in at the toes to keep it from rotating. The structure the guys pulled out, Charlie and those guys pulled out in a matter of hours. And what we found was the concrete was very old Riverstone concrete and all sorts of different steel in it. We even found a railroad tied at one point that they used for steel inside the wall. So I don't know what year this structure was built, but it definitely had seen its design life for sure.
Multiple years.
Again, this is the plan that was developed in-house. Mike Plombley and Rich and Gunner surveyed it, and then Alex Flynn did all the design work. Alex is new here from AOT. Some of you folks probably haven't met him yet, but he did all the design work. And we submitted it to AOT for approval. I think we submitted in January. Alex did the design. I think we started shortly after Christmas and finished it up and sent it off. And then of course we had to send the design off to the precast box supplier to do their design of the actual box itself. Again, this is more of the design. You can see the length of the structure is 36 feet with the wing walls on either entrance. There's a couple of cutoff walls on either end. And these head walls look like they're a separate piece. They actually were on the inlet and outlet box sections, which made those the heaviest picks. I think the heaviest pick was right around 23,000 pounds.
This image is a little different, right? Because it shows a head wall sticking above the structure.
Yeah, it did, Ken, because we had to capture the gravel. So those head walls allow us to build the gravel section through the box culvert.
Oh, okay. This was a couple weeks ago.
Yep. Last Thursday, Daryl and Sean and crew went up and milled it. We did this actually under traffic. We didn't close the road for this portion of the work. And Rob and crew were up there. I think they started the Tuesday before with just prepping stuff, getting pumps, and you'll see in some of these later photos, it was a very wet hole.
Yeah.
Of course, typically box culverts are typically, June, July, and August work because usually they don't let you in the stream till then. But they were nervous that this structure was going to fail. In that previous photo, you probably could see the cracking on the deck of the bridge. They actually, when we bid it, they wanted us to do it last fall, but with the design and getting in a precast schedule, that just wasn't going to happen. Our completion date was May 13th of this year, and with any luck, I'm going up here this morning to meet L&D to get it striped, and that's the last task to getting this thing done. This is a picture of Sunday after we finished paving. The road was closed till Monday morning. We didn't want traffic going through, so you can see that you can see one loader here in the foreground and one in the background. We closed the road like this and put the loaders just so somebody wouldn't drive through our cones and across the structure and go into the drink because there's no guardrail. Guardrail was scheduled for first thing Monday morning. Yeah, this is a good picture of how wet our hole was. We actually ended up undercutting a couple feet. I think we ended up running 4 submersible 3-inch pumps and our big diesel pump.
Wow.
I don't think that we ended up, once we got ahead of it, I don't believe the diesel pump ran. That had to, when we impounded the water, you can see the sandbags in the background. This thing was so flat, we had to impound the water on both sides and pump around us because it would come back on us if we didn't. So right here's our undercut. You can see Rich and Gunner came out and helped with the layout there. I think this was probably 9 or 10 o'clock Friday night. Combination of GPS and you can see Gunner's running the laser rod right there. This picture is actually the opposite end, where they're, I almost think you can see a piece of the cutoff wall behind the bucket there. We're setting the cutoff wall. So you set the cutoff walls and then you grade to them in preparation for setting the box. And the inlet and outlet pieces set on those cutoff walls. This is, you can see the box is all set at this point. We're fighting with the wing walls at this point. In the foreground there is John Wilkin. He was the state inspector. You can see Wayne and Jeremy. Phil operated the crane for us, did a great job. This was in this picture here, you can see in the background to the right there, a power pole. There was probably 3 to 5 foot of clearance on the power lines, which we had sleeved and insulated, but it was tight. We actually had a plan that when Phil got there, if he wasn't comfortable, we were actually going to set those 2 wing walls specifically with the excavator, but Phil was comfortable with it and we set them with the crane. That's the inside of the box. You can see the baffles. So most AOT structures now, you see these baffles, and that's where we have to put that special E-stone blend in, and the baffles hold the stone in so it doesn't wash out. A structure this flat, they probably didn't need them, but that's kind of the design they've gone to for everything now. And actually, the way we put the stone in the box, they would dump the stone in front of the box and then they pushed it in. And Mike Bishop kind of, I guess he must have drawn the short straw. He got to go in and out of the structure and duck his head sideways. Maybe they picked the shortest guy, which I was glad I wasn't on site because it would have been me. Again, you can see a couple pictures here. One is Phil operating the crane, picking the structures off. I don't know if this one specifically, we trucked 2 of the pieces up to the site, and Ireland, who supplied the box, trucked the other 6 pieces. Then the picture on the right, you can see the finished product there. And after we'd let the water back through the structure, Rob came up with a plan. Actually, originally we were going to do the E-stone on Monday, and he came in because we were supposed to get heavy rain on Monday. He decided that, which was a good decision, to go ahead and slam that E-stone in Sunday night. And that way we could let the water back through the structure, not have to deal with water and E-stone on Monday morning. Again, you can see here, it's all hydro-seeded, the guardrail's in on the left, and you can see the amount of water that's ponding there. My guess is this thing's equalized since then a little bit. But I'm also guessing there's going to be a little bit of ponding there for a while, just because those drainage swales for these farmer fields aren't really, that wasn't part of our contract to go and ditch those out, but they probably could use a good ditching. Actually, if you look further down this ditch on site, there was a bunch of trees and shrubs growing right in the ditch line. So it hadn't been done for a while. The picture on the right, you can see this was taken Monday, I believe. The RPMs are in, the guardrails all in, everything's hydro-seeded, and you can see how wet it was Monday. So getting that E-stone in on Saturday night was the right decision.
I'm trying to get back to the screen here.
Yeah, I mean, the project was a success. The district's really happy about everything that was done, and it was a great job. You know, one of the big things, I've been on these box culverts before where you're working day and night, and Rob and Charlie scheduled it so that each of them had at least half. Well, Rob was even coming in earlier in some cases, so that there was good communication in those transitions. Some of the ones I'd been on, the night crew would come in at 6 p.m. and the day crew would leave at 6 p.m. and there was no transition, there was no overlap. So basically they'd have to figure out, well, where did these guys leave off? And there was great communication. Mike Ronaldo came up on Sunday and did some actually Saturday and Sunday did some gravel testing, compaction testing for us, and some hot mix testing. You know, Daryl's crew showed up when they were supposed to. On Sunday, had a little bit of plant problems, but we got which was Pike's issue, not ours. But we got through that and got her all paved. It just, to me, it was a great success with how everybody communicated And the biggest thing with night and day work and people working a lot of hours, nobody got hurt. And the site was, I was up there all weekend. The site was really safe. You know, we had good cutbacks on our slopes. Just was a great teamwork effort, I thought. And I appreciate everybody that came out and had a part in the project.
And you know what, I forgot to put in the paving photos. I've been pulling all these photos together from different sources and I forgot them. So I apologize to the pavers. I don't have them readily accessible to show them right now either. So my apologies, and we'll make up for it. So and thanks, Mark. So the project archives, we have a picture from the Swanton Village wastewater lagoons back in the 1980s. I don't know if that old backhoe was stuck. I see it's hooked to a chain, kind of coming out of the hole there. So way back then, we believe that's Alan. It's hard to tell in this grainy photo from the old days. It's a scan of a photograph. So that's what I got. Everybody be safe. Have a good day out there. Make sure your job sites look like the green up day. So have a good one. And I'll turn it back over to Austin.
I think you're muted, Austin.
Well, we'll
Have a
end the
good
meeting.
weekend, everyone. Be aware of those back injuries.
Yep.
All right.
Be careful out there.
Yeah. See you guys.
All right. See you.